All right. This is gonna be another testimony, morning testimony. Um, you know, throughout the morning, they just tell me I'm gonna get raped. I'm gonna be tortured. My eyes gonna be taken out, and it's gonna be hurting. And they just use those methods to somehow make me accept what's happening to me, in regard of the manipulation, as if it's me. These warnings, these threats of torture, uh, is just a tool they use now to not just to warn me, regardless of it's gonna happen, but it's just more of like, oh, because it's gonna happen, then it's true. And like they're horny, they're waiting to rape you, right? All those methods are supposed to increase anxiety and also make me accept what's happening to me. Regardless of what's gonna happen to me, I will not let them live their fantasy. They escape they escape using my torture. When how many videos I've made, this port, I don't know, 80 plus, I guess. So you understand, I've been consistently saying what's been happening to me, and they think that somehow I'm not validated, or I'm not comfortable knowing that this is the people manipulating my thoughts. Like I said, I've been saying that since day one. It's been a long time now, almost 3 years. And since almost 3 years of me making videos. So I made a video in late 2020, and it's 2023. We're about to get into the fourth quarter of, when in the third quarter of 2023. And I've been consistently saying my brain has been manipulated in these disturbing ways, where thoughts and manipulations of all sorts, specifically pedophilia type of tormenting, have been applied to me. Non-stop been saying that, right? And so they could think that, oh, now this and that, like, no. So regardless what's going to happen to me, I can never let you live your fantasy. You didn't prove anything. You proved that you can manipulate thoughts. You can do all these disturbing things. And you've been consistently doing the pedophilia type of tormenting. Now they think because this torture is going to happen to me is because they proved it. Do you know how easily it is to show that they do this pedophilia type of tormenting? Do you know how easy it is that they manipulate thoughts? It is also like, it's been said by so many others. They try to use these voices that are supposed to be like the confident voices. No, listen, you're confident about what's going to happen to me, but you think that because you sound this way, somehow there's all the testimonies about they manipulate thoughts, they do this and that, like this is non-existent. And they're like, you know what? How they respond to it? Oh, you're calm. Yesterday, this an obvious thing just was more obvious, that obviously the technology they're using is coming from entities that's governmental, of course. This is not a group of people just get together. What? No, it come from those DoD agencies, and specifically DARPA has been working on this, directed energy and other electronic weaponry. The reason why they wanted to distance themselves from that is because they caught this child, this pedophile, who was a program manager at DARPA, downloading child porn. Now they do this pedophilia type of torture, and you wonder, like, okay, you see, those people working on these tools might actually be pedophiles too, because they not only work on these tools, but they also design and they create strategy on how to apply and deploy it on people. We're just subjects, right? In their mind, they just, it's war. It's a war of rationality, and they keep saying they use childlike ways of just gaslighting. So I'll keep dying, because obviously, when you hear that there's a DARPA program manager who was caught with child porn, and these people are supposed to quote unquote catch pedophiles, when in reality they are the one trying to force you to think in these pedophilia ways, or at least try to make you accept those thoughts of pedophilia are yours. Yesterday was interesting. They did this thing where they did this pedophilia kind of dialogues or thoughts, but minus the perception is the stimulations, which, to be honest, is much better. It's sad to say that. It's sad to say that this is what they do. It's sad to say that this is a plus. Like, at least I didn't get the stimulation. At least I didn't get the reaction. At least I didn't get the perceptions. But the thoughts, whatever, the dialogues, I would say, is just another thing. Is it went there, but at least you don't get that weird sensation or this weird stimulations. And you like, it's like, okay. But at the same time, they're like, "Oh, these dialogues, we you see that." You was like, "Yo, please, those are the dialogues that you force me to have, right? Try to get me to." And I know they're so deep in my thoughts, that it goes so deep, and they try. And the thing is, the way they try to kind of change it is, even though they're like, "Oh, try to look, oh, okay, look at the way she's shaped or whatever," try to create, and not finding anything to create as a stimulation of perception, which is what they were doing. They could easily create those perception stimulation, but they were trying to create this dialogue and make me feel it's me. It's like, oh, you see, you're trying to look for something. It's like, no, you do this to me. And the end result, thankfully, is that you didn't do these perceptions, but you did that on purpose, because what they wanted to do is try to make me feel guilty of those dialogues they were having me have. But because they knew that as long as I don't get the stimulation, the sensation, that's okay. I don't care. As long as I don't get that disturbing peripheral perceptions, or these sensations that make me feel like, quote unquote, they match as me as a kid, I'm not. I'm okay. Let me bring it back. And actually, I think that I did. That was one of my late night thing yesterday when I talked about it. Well, not late, but it was a night thing. So it was this, and they're gonna do these things, of course. So I prep when they do their disturbing things on camera. I'm okay with that, because at least this that there was this kid, so nasty, and they still try to now they're creating, well, now, and when I was making the video, they started doing the stimulation, which at the time that's not what was happening, and that's why I was like, okay, when they have this dialogue. So this kid, it's a rap cover album. You see the little girl next to her dad, and they would try to make me look, and now it's the stimulation. They went back to the nastiness that they do, the usual, which is worse. And so what they did is like, it, the cover up what came up, and it was nothing coming up. Like they weren't giving me the stimulation, but it was making me have dialogues. And then at the end, it's like, oh my gosh, she actually looked like a little, like a little adult person. But I know she was a child. But but I was like, as long as you're not doing this nasty stimulation and sexual perception, or pedophilia things that you do to me, I'm okay. It was okay. But then they're like, oh, the dialogue you're looking for, the way you like. Can you imagine? This is the life I'm in now. They forced me to have this disturbing perception, and then they try to create these dialogues. But the dialogues are nothing in comparison to what they do when it comes to the perceptions and the stimulations. This little, this ways of like, uh, try to find something to start turning into something sexual, basically pedophilia things, and then not finding it, and not finding it, not creating it is, then it's okay. Now, for them to make me accept this and to be anxious of what I'm saying, like I said, they want me to think that I should identify to this. So you hear this perp who just calmly try to say, "Oh, you're gonna get raped." I'd rather get raped, and I'm still not gonna subscribe to this disturbing pedophilia thoughts that you guys force. That at this point, that I'm even happy, even if you had this dialogue where you try to make me look at something that you guys can turn into something pedophilia or sexual, so some pedophilia sexual nastiness. I'm happy that the perception and the stimulations did not happen. But I know those dialogues, those thoughts. It's like dialogues, like thoughts. It's like a thought of like they coming from. It's like those thoughts that come from like almost like a deeper place in the consciousness, where they try to make you like look like, oh, you're looking for. They try to make you look for something so they can do their prefer things, and nothing happens. And as I'm saying that, they're like, oh, you're dying, because they want to interrupt when I say that. When they have this like deeper forced thoughts, where they try to like make it seem like it's me, and I know it's not, and I don't even let it. I don't even stress about it until there is like the perception stimulations. It's And you hear this childlike person who really desperate to make me accept this. Do you know I made videos since 2020 talk about how the different type of stimulation, the different ways they try to force me and make it seem like it's me, to force me to have those thoughts, sorry, and making me think it's me. Of course I know. I know it's them forcing, try to force me to look and try to create. I know they control that. Now I was happy that I didn't get the stimulation. It was so weird feeling, because It's like even though they're trying to make me look at something that was going to be creating something, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything in regard of like the perception and stimulation. It was like, oh my god, it must felt good. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm able to look at this kid, which I can't anymore because now they're back to putting the stimulation and perception and again giving you that reaction. And you almost felt good, it's like I'm not seeing this kid in this disturbing pedophilia ways that make me look at it, even though they have me have this like dialogue slash thoughts. It's like a deep conscious thought that like they deep. There's so much in my brain, right? It's so ingrained in my thoughts that if it's like it feels like more and more like it's my thoughts, but I know based on the content when they start making me like look at it, it's like or you try to look for some kids like in this like that's when I know it's like okay that's them, they're just that deep in my brain. Like some guys have said before, like they have like this, they turn off like the volume, is like the stealthness of their manipulation is increased, right? And they try to use this gaslighting methods. Oh, awkward. It's like, awkward what? I know it's you guys. I don't know, like this gimmicky ways of acting, this gaslighting methods, right? Where they want you to identify with the things they do. It's never gonna work, right? I know. I'm just still happy that I didn't even get the stimulation and perception that they will make me have, like they're having me have now. Even though this dialogue was there, I guess I was supposed to be like, oh my gosh, whoa, no, no, I know you guys do these things. It's just like I'm so making these videos every day, saying the same thing every day, and then they try like, oh, awkward. This feels like we're like 100 videos down now, and I've been saying that. So yes, like you understand, it's just they leave off a reality that they box out, and I think they're frustrated that they had like a facade that they wanted to maintain. They wanted to pretend that they're protecting children and women, and these people are trying to catch you. When in reality, these people have been doing these things to children too. This direct energy weaponry, is tested on children in different ways, torturing them sexually in other ways. They do all these nasty things. This, and I was reading more. It's obviously DARPA involved in this. Like DARPA is obviously a key element in this program. At least these tools, these technologies, these devices come from there because they deal with microwaves and different radio frequencies and all kind of like, it's just this is like DARPA like devices and tool and technology level. And that's why it's this sophisticated. This is beyond I was trying to read some of the things I'm like, okay, yeah, it's way more like it's not something that I don't have the like capacity to the capability at this point to understand what this technology, like all the different things they work on, but it sounds like it's very familiar to what is happening to me in regard of the directed energy is mentioned, electronic weapons mentioned, a lot of radio frequency, a lot of microwave related weaponries, and things like that. You understand? So you understand, they're definitely the people really working on the device. I mean, I'm seeing the people. This is not coming from my neighbors, okay, or a group of like you understand. I'm a subject of this testing, and this is how they improve and develop this weaponry, increase more data, and improve on those. And they try to find ways. How is it going to subscribe? Oh, okay. If we make anything, yeah, okay. If we do this, but we don't do. Oh, awkward is you. Like, no, I know it's you guys. No, am I going to be tortured? Whatever. But they think that I'm trying to make people be like, no, believe me, they're doing this. Of course, I know they know that. They're involved, just like like I understand this is it's a program that is very very like large. People all around you are supposed to get you to accept these things, but unfortunately for them, they're gonna have to be very 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 on the spectrum when they do this, because one, we hear there's a bunch of actual pedophiles in these agencies, even the DARPA, and not anybody, a program manager at that, right? Somebody who manages this technology and devices. A program manager was covered child porn on his computer. These people are doctors and some of the smartest people. On top of that, a program manager that on his government devices. So you understand, it's not like and it's funny. It's not like, let me just finish that thought. It's not like he's not trying to hide these things. He was so openly downloading on a computer that he's working on these government devices where they obviously have to keep an eye on because to make sure that nobody goes in and they're not hacked. So he would download Chapon on that computer, not giving a damn to that level. That means that they were so normalizing it that it was okay. There's something normal about that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is um what was I say? They 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 they've they 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 they've been doing this pedophilia type of torture. They systematically utilize pedophilia as a tool to break people down. So people are strategizing in a way like, okay, we're gonna use pedophilia as a tool to break people down. Literally doing the pedophilia type of torture.
Sorrow? I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is I just can't take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting thing.
You heard that before, right? Somebody's trying to change who I am, putting thoughts of pedophilia. That's the things, And as I'm saying that, you hear the perps trying to disorient me. It's like, oh, it is a tool. you know, that's what they're supposed to be doing, I guess. Um, but here is another.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call. I also experienced what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my clothes.
I mean, literally saying the pedophilia type of torture. But they've proved it. Of course, they don't do the pedophilia things. But also something I want to call out is the ability to just to override your thoughts. It's just, like not even just.
It can literally stop your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're coming from somewhere other than your own mind. So you can imagine how bad this would be for people that don't even realize this technology exists.
But this is not the only. Like there's plenty of.
Basically just don't have any clue as to what's happening, and their lives are just falling apart. To be, um, it's like a paranoid. It's like the whole world is out to get you. Um, Anyways, it's been 5 years for me. They've sort of calmed down a bit now. I don't. The V2K is not as loud as it used to be before. It's more stealthy. Like they turn it down a notch. They turn it down a lot to um, make it appear as though the thoughts in my head are actually mine, which I know they aren't most of the time. Because yeah, these people are very perverse, and they have hatred towards.
So nothing is new here. This is what they do. They really can just go deep in your thoughts and make you like really think that those are coming like it's just but the level of disturbingness of what they have, like they make you think is just obvious that it's not you. In this case, that was when they make me try to like look, and I'm like, And they'll try to make me look at this kid, try to find something that they can create. Like it was weird. They'll try to do some weird things, and I know it's them, right? They do it these ways where they kind of make it feel like it's coming from you. But at least at that moment, which is not the case anymore, they didn't do the stimulations and the perception and the sensations, which are the worst things. Those are the worst. Those weird thoughts, those disgusting. It's disgusting, but it's not as disgusting. Yeah, once you get the stimulations, the perceptions, those are the worst thing. But when they have this weird, this disgusting, like thoughts about like in this ways, there's just like the a conversation. When you have the feelings and the sensations that comes with those, oh my gosh, those are worse. So there's a level. I was like, I'm glad at least I didn't get the stimulation sensation. Now, as I'm saying that, they're like, oh, Cora, they're using different tone of voices, trying to gaslight you into accepting this. And, you just got to understand these people are trying to get you to identify with those thoughts, right? And you're not going to subscribe to it. I've been making videos about exactly these things since 2020. Now I'm going to be like, oh, you know what? Now that's it's obvious. But it was interesting that they didn't use the perceptions like all the stimulation that they usually do, which is nasty. It's even worse than anything else. That's why even now when I was pulling up the picture, I couldn't even look at it, because they were giving me the stimulation that they usually do, which is nasty. That's which is what the technology does. Now, last night, just to wrap up this, it was a nasty way. Oh my gosh, it will give me all kind of sensation, all kind of disturbing pedophilia sensation stimulation. It was disgusting. They will make me think of kids and just give me a weird stimulation to the, oh my gosh, non-stop, non-stop. I will move a little bit to the stimulation. It was non-stop, and they were just trying to programming, conditioning my brain. All that. It's just nasty. Um, and it's just what they do. They're gonna try to break you into accepting into these things. But just to wrap up things here, target individual. I'll be continuously making videos. You see how even now, after making maybe close to 100 videos, they're trying to still be like, "Oh, you see now, but this is you." Like you gotta understand, these people, that's their job. They have no self respect in the sense that they're gonna try to degrade you, but they're degrading themselves. Of course, I know it's what you guys do, but I think the humiliation that knowing that the people who really are here developing this technology, right? These people are the bottom feeders for that. They're the one that apply and deploy this technology onto the civilians to experiment this technology. But the people really in charge of this pedophilia issue there. And they were trying to counter by saying, "Oh, but that was old." No, because this BuzzFeed article was first requested in 2010 or something like that. So the information that they have now is based on the when they requested it in 2010. So it took them 10 years to get this. 10 years to get the information they have. So to get what's going on now, they will take another 10 years, and who knows what's happening now. They're trash. But to all my target individuals, they sold to pedophiles. They're gonna get theirs. I know why I'm here, and they know it's gonna come for them. I know they escape reality in so many fashion, and then when reality comes to them, it's like, oh, I'm scared. It's like, no, you are terrified because you're a coward. You're terrified to be seen. You're so scared that you come up with ways to cover up the fact that there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. Try to come on, no, we're FBI. We're this. That's how terrified you are, because you actually work for pedophiles. Now, these people who claim that they're not scared when I say these things are the same people who will never want to be seen. And I actually don't care if they're scared or not. To be honest, I don't. It means nothing. If they tell me, "Oh my god, I'm actually scared," okay, somebody come back. So I understand it's just the bottom feeders, and it won't take much really. For me, I see them. I've seen a few of them. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's almost insulting. It's like this is the person. Jesus. It's like you see them, it's like, oh my gosh. You would think that maybe somebody strong, like got their things together. Oh my gosh. Jeez, when you see there's nobodies and there's nobodies. So I'm a target individual, stay strong.